Hit the spot. All right, guys, Nuance bro checking in from my new studio. I've been working on it for a few weeks now, so I haven't been able to put out content on a consistent basis. Also, since my last video, there haven't been any recent rallies or protests to attend, but I will have another protest rally interview video coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. So the reason I'm making this video is because some of you have asked me to make videos about politics and current events. So I'm gonna try to do that on a regular basis, and we're gonna call this segment Keepin' It Real, because let's be honest, mainstream media, they don't keep it real at all. They even talk in this sort of fake way where they have this weird sort of rhythm to the way they talk. You know what I'm talking about? Where they go, and dun 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 dun, and blah, 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 blah. By the way, if you guys don't want to miss those videos where I interview people at political rallies, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell for future videos. So one thing I want to do every week is hopefully every week, we'll have something called Trump's Tweet of the Week. And this is where we take a tweet from Trump, discuss the significance, and get your thoughts on it, get my thoughts on it, all that good stuff. So the tweet I want to focus on this week is where he says, and I quote, "Now that the 3 basketball players are out of China and saved from years in jail, LeVar Ball, the father of LiAngelo, is unaccepting of what I did for his son, and that shoplifting is no big deal. I should have left them in jail!" Exclamation point. So let's be honest, is this a funny tweet? Yeah, it's pretty hilarious, especially because it's coming from the most powerful man in the world. The most powerful man in the world, the President of the United States, uses Twitter as a means to communicate with the world. And he does this sort of petty, semi-childish kind of stuff. You gotta admit, it's a bit childish. I get a kick out of it personally, but you have to condemn it. It's not right. It's definitely wrong. And I know a lot of my viewers are Trump supporters, so just hold on for a second. The problem is with a lot of Trump supporters is they almost have like a cult-like allegiance to Trump as a man. I personally, I just don't believe in allegiance to a person just for the sake of them being that person. I support people who support values, principles that I agree with. And I think once that person violates any of those values or principles, it's important to call them out on it and not to just blindly defend them every single time they do something and just try to explain it away. So I think the best standard to have is to always pretend like the shoe is on the other foot. What if Barack Obama did something similar like this? If you had 3 American football players or basketball players go to China and they got arrested for shoplifting, and then Barack Obama decided to free them however way he could, and then demanded that they all give them an apology, and then they all did give them an apology. Because remember, Trump got an apology from all 3 of the basketball players. It's just that the one parent of one of the basketball players decided not to thank him and instead said some negative things towards Trump. Now imagine if that same thing happened to Barack Obama, one of the parents said negative things, and then Barack Obama comes out on Twitter and says this exact same thing. Would you support Barack Obama in that decision, or would you say this is not becoming of a president, this is immature, what more could you want, the players thanked you? And are you trying to say that the president, if your dad makes him mad, he's gonna keep you in jail? I don't think that's presidential. I don't think that's cool. And I think by calling this behavior out, it's possible to maybe inspire change among a person. When you call out somebody's mistakes and they realize that's not cool, there's at least the potential for them to change. Whereas if you just lend your support constantly, they'll just be reaffirmed in those beliefs and their actions and continue down the same path. It is 2:42 a.m. right now. And a few minutes ago, Trump tweeted something new that I just had to comment on. So I'm gonna put it up here so you guys can see. Even in this time that I just checked, I was gonna go back to the one that he just tweeted, but he tweeted another one on top of that just now again. So I'm gonna read them both actually. He says, and I quote, "It wasn't the White House, it wasn't the State Department, it wasn't Father LeVar's so-called people on the ground in China that got his son out of a long-term prison sentence. It was me. Too bad!" Exclamation point. LeVar is just a poor man's version of Don King, but without the hair. Just think ... What? What is that? What is that? So I'm wondering if he got up early because it's around 5 in the morning where he is in Washington D.C., or if he just stayed up all night and he's just going crazy just writing this stuff. Here's the next one. He just tweeted a few minutes later. ... LeVar, You could have spent the next 5 to 10 years during Thanksgiving with your son in China, but no NBA contract to support you. But remember, LeVar, shoplifting is not a little thing. It's a really big deal, especially in China. Ungrateful fool! Exclamation mark. Oh my God. So this is why I'm doing the Trump tweet of the week. I get little surprises like this. So when I made this video originally and I gave you guys the first tweet, I had no idea this was going to happen. This literally just happened as I was uploading to YouTube. It was about 75% uploaded, and then I checked Twitter, and then this is what I see. I don't even know what to say. I just wanted to inform you guys that these tweets just happened, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Otherwise, this video is gonna be just way too long, and I don't wanna have that. The next one I wanna get to is, let's talk about sexual assault allegations, sexual harassment allegations, all that stuff. Right now, it seems like sexual harassment allegations, sexual assault allegations, it's raining sexual harassment. One thing I want to make note of is we have to distinguish between the different cases. To pretend the case of Harvey Weinstein and Al Franken are morally indistinguishable is not intellectually honest or consistent. And I think those are key. We have to be intellectually honest and consistent with what we're saying here. So I want to bring up the case of Al Franken. If you ask me personally, I'm not a fan of Al Franken. I don't agree with most of his policies or politics. Let's talk about his case. As of this filming, we had a woman who came out and she said two things. The first case is there was supposedly a rehearsal kiss for some sort of skit they were going to put on. Now, Al Franken goes up to her and requests that they rehearse the kiss before showtime because apparently he does this. He says he always rehearses a kiss before a skit or whatever. Or he likes to rehearse everything. So he goes up to her, asks her, she says no. She says no again. And then eventually she eventually gives in and says, okay, that they can do the rehearsal kiss. He then basically embraced her by grabbing her by the back of the head and kissed her and put his tongue in her mouth. And she says it was very uncomfortable for her. And she pushed him away and basically said something to the effect of, don't ever do that again, sort of thing. Now, after she said that, he obviously didn't do it again, according to her. And that's the first case. So important thing to note. She said okay. She agreed. She consented to the rehearsal kiss. Now, at the point that she became uncomfortable, she stopped it, pushed him away. Did he pursue after that? The answer is no. According to her, he didn't pursue after that. She didn't claim any of that. So where's the real issue here? She consented. She was uncomfortable, pushed him away, he stopped. Is it weird? Is it creepy? Yeah, maybe, sure. But whatever happened to just being weird and creepy? When did weird and creepy become sexual assault every single time? Now, the second point she made is that there was a picture. And they were on USO tour together. They were doing some performances. And she was asleep, I believe on a plane. I could be mistaken on that. She was wearing multiple layers of clothing. And she had some sort of tactical Kevlar or armor plating vest, right? It was some sort of plate carrier, I believe. Now, armor plating or Kevlar in it, I don't know. So he takes a picture where he has his hands on her chest and he's looking back at the camera. And it was in the spirit of, look, I pranked you while you were sleeping. Now, let's be honest. I'm sure the vast majority of people, even watching this video, have at least pranked somebody one time while they were asleep. Does that mean you're guilty of assault? Sexual assault? I wouldn't say so. I think it's just normal human behavior. When you prank someone, it's just a normal social thing. You prank someone while they're asleep, you laugh, they laugh. Sometimes they get annoyed by it, but they're not going to go press charges against you and call it sexual assault. That would be insane. Now, don't get me wrong. Does that mean you can go up to a woman and touch her breasts and have that not be sexual assault because you were doing it because it was fun and she was asleep? Absolutely not. But keep in mind, she had the multiple layers of clothing. She had the armored plate carrier on her. That's a significant amount of material between the breast. Like, she couldn't even feel it probably. At what point are you really feeling breasts and not just feeling a bunch of hard steel or Kevlar on top of that? Here's a very important point. We can't let this point get lost from us. It's not like he did this under the cover of night, surreptitiously, and he didn't want anyone to find out. He was doing this with the express purpose of being photographed so that she would see it later, thinking that she would actually think it was funny and be like, oh, you got me good. It was in that kind of spirit. This wasn't some sort of nefarious action taken by him. There's also these pictures with Ariana Huffington and Joy Behar where Al Franken is touching their breasts, and in the case of Ariana Huffington, also her ass. Now, these were staged photo shoots, and it's not like he was hiding anything. He even had his wedding ring on his finger in one of the pictures, or at least what I assume is his wedding ring. And you look at Joy Behar, she's smiling, she's having a great time. Seems clearly consensual, she's not complaining about it after the fact. Also, Ariana Huffington, there's a picture of him in that same sort of photo shoot where she's choking Al Franken. Now, are we going to say Ariana Huffington is guilty of physical assault? Are we going to say that Ariana Huffington is guilty of assault and attempted murder for trying to choke Al Franken? No, it was clearly a gag. It was clearly for the staged photo shoot. So I don't understand why people are trying to put this out there, trying to shame Al Franken for what he did. These are dangerous things to say because it's not just going to affect Al Franken. If these standards of what passes as so-called sexual harassment or sexual assault, if those fly and Al Franken goes down, pretty much nobody is safe. Any sort of little interaction with a woman by a man could be interpreted as sexual assault or sexual misconduct or sexual harassment. That is dangerous territory. And also, you got to keep in mind with these sexual allegations, people are taking all of them as fact. Now, I do definitely believe that the vast majority of these are definitely true what they are saying. But you have to realize that a significant portion of the population, not a majority by any means, it's probably definitely a minority, but you have to realize a significant amount of people are out there who are either delusional or nefarious in their intent, and they will say sexual assault, sexual harassment when there actually is none. For that, I want to show you two examples. Now, obviously, these are just anecdotal examples, just two case studies. They're not representative of the population or anything like that, but it's important to know that these people are out there. I've seen a lot of these types of people, but I'm just going to give you two examples for today. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the case of Humongous. Now, if you don't remember, I'm going to refresh your memory with this little video right here. Now, you have a man who went to a city council meeting. He was trying to exercise his civic duty by attending a city council meeting, voicing his opinion, and as he steps out, the media decides to interview him. And then, when he steps away, this woman comes up to him. He doesn't want to tell her his name. And that's totally understandable.
You take my picture?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want my name?
Yeah, sure.
It's Humongous.
Okay. Humongous what? Humongous what?
So he tells her his name is Hugh Mungus.
Humongous.
Humongous what?
Humongous.
Humongous what?
Humongous.
And then she says, humongous what? Humongous what? And continues to repeat herself because she wants him to say something like humongous penis, so then she can attach some sort of sexual connotation to what he said, and then therefore she can claim sexual harassment and then make herself seem like a victim in this case.
Humongous what?
That's what it is.
Humongous what? Is that sexual harassment?
No, it's humongous.
Then why did you say that to me?
She starts asking the question, are you sexually harassing me? Is that sexual harassment?
My name.
What? Humongous what?
Humongous what?
Humongous what? Is that sexual harassment? Is that what you just did when you said that to me?
What, humongous?
Why would you say that to me?
And then she eventually starts saying and yelling towards the crowd, this man sexually harassed me, and starts saying, how dare you, you're disgusting, and goes on and on and on.
Humongous what? Humongous what? This person just spoke to me in a sexually harassing way.
I did not.
Yeah, he did. He said, do you know what my name is? And I said, what? And he said, humongous. Yeah. Yeah. This person just sexually harassed me.
I said I'm humongous.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. And then you speak to me in a sexually harassing manner. How dare you? How dare you? Disgusting. Disgusting. Are you going to do anything about how you sexually harassed me? Are you going to do anything about how you sexually harassed me?
And this is the important note. It's very important to realize this. This video was not some sort of hidden camera or anything that was somehow accidentally uploaded. This woman uploaded this video because she thought she was in the right. She actually believed that people would be on her side and believed that nobody could possibly be against her for what she did and what she experienced. She actually believed that she was being sexually harassed. Therefore, she put the video on the internet hoping to expose this misogynist, so-called misogynist. And the tides were totally against her. And to this day, she still defends her actions, even after all the backlash, after all the people saying, look, you were misguided and this and that. She still maintains to this day that she was in the right. These are real people in real life, and they make accusations, false accusations, and that's extremely dangerous. Now, here's the thing. Someone who's delusional like that, they may not actually have malicious intent. They might actually believe what they're saying. But then on top of that, there are also people who have malicious intent, and they will go out to ruin your life, knowing full well that they're lying, but they know that the law or society is on their side, and they will ruin your life because of it. And it's important to note that when these allegations come out. That's not to say, once again, I'm going to say it again because I know people are going to try and take this out of context or misconstrue it. It's important to note that I'm not saying not to believe the allegations. All I am saying is you have to recognize the reality of these situations. Not all allegations are true, not all allegations are false, and most allegations are probably true. Now, another example I want to show you of someone who's either delusional or malicious in their intent, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they're just delusional. Here you have a man standing on some sort of elevated platform. Now, he's protesting something that the crowd disagrees with, and on this platform, he's already towards the edge. He's already standing on the edge, and he's keeping his arm out to prevent people from coming closer into his space and potentially pushing him off the platform. You can see in the video, there's this woman standing to the side. And then she decides to jump in front of this guy and ram herself into his arm. And from there, she starts to say, "Get your hands off of me. Get your hands off of my breasts."
Get your hand off my breast now! Get your hands off my breast now!
And then right after that, she pushes him down from the elevated platform and he falls to the ground, injuring himself. She used that justification of her being sexually harassed because she was pushing herself up against his arm. She used that as enough of a justification to use violence against this man and push him off of a platform, potentially injuring him pretty severely. Now, she wasn't doing this in a room where it was just him and her, nobody else could possibly know. This was in broad daylight with her knowing that cameras are out filming this situation, and she still did it. That is dangerous. That is a huge, dangerous mentality that we have in society today, and we've got to fight against it any chance we get. Also, I want to throw out, because I've heard this number before, where people cite that only 3% of allegations are false. This 3% rule, what they do is they basically only get that 3% rule by taking all rape allegations, and then from that, they only take the ones that were provably false in court, and then they attribute that to the 3%. They basically presume all of them to be true, and then say, well, only 3% are false. But those are the only ones that are verifiably false. The other ones were either had not guilty pleas, you could never prove otherwise. That doesn't mean the rest were true. It just means it's not 100% verifiable. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that first installment of Keeping It Real. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I really want to get your feedback back on this. Do you guys think I should do more of these? Do you think I should do less of these and just do the interviews? Do you want to see more content like this? I don't know. Give me your suggestions down in the comments below. I want to hear what you guys have to say. All right, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Support me on Patreon. Social media links are in the description box below. And Nuance Bro checking out.